It's another amazing hot sunny day. I'm just going over a few bits and bobs, like this butternut squash for one. I keep saying I'm going to cut it down because I've had enough of waiting. I keep looking at it every day thinking because the weather's like it is, maybe they're going to get a spurt of growth. But I think I'm just fooling myself on that one. We've only got till this weekend for this really nice weather, and that's not going to make up for nearly 3 months of rubbish weather. I just don't think they're going to make any size at all. It's just something that stops me from just pulling that plant up, because I hate to give up on anything. But look how much more it's grown over the last few days. You can see that these leaves are all going a bit limp now because it's quite hot in this greenhouse. But as we work across here, we can see that there's a butternut squash there. I know there's another one over here somewhere. There it is, right at back. There's a little one there, and this is kind of doing what a few of them have been doing. Getting to a certain size and then it just starts to shrivel up. It's decided to try and put out even more vines across front at bench now. That's another vine on its way. We've also got these coming in through a tiny crack in window. Need to cut those back. Over there in that far corner there's another one. If you look down there, there's another one as well. And that vine has gone all the way across that bench, and now it's working its way across the other side at greenhouse. And there's another one. It's now started tying itself to these canes where tomato plants are. It's put on such amazing growth, and I only wish I'd took a pane of glass out and fed it to outside before it got so big, because then I would have probably just left it. But I'm still struggling to make my mind up with this. That one is probably the biggest I've seen on here so far, and it's not huge. But because there's so many fruits growing on this one plant, everything's growing even slower, which is the reason I cut that jackberry little back to try and help those fruits. And to be honest, they don't seem as though they've grown much at all since I did that anyway. Those peppers are still going. These are ones we repotted for overwintering, and they're trying to grow more flower buds on top now. So are these, and I'm just going to leave those. This courgette has once again produced some more fruit that started to rot. We've had none of this all year. So I think this plant has got to go. It's too annoying to keep watching these fruits growing and then rot away so you get nothing. So I think if anything, that is getting dug up. It's definitely one that's not worth hanging on to anymore. And it's a shame because it's such a big plant. If nothing else, it'll make a bit of compost. Well, at least I've made a decision on that. That's gone now. It's not getting us anything all year. We've had loads and loads of fruit growing and then it's just rotted. And I think that's due to the fact that for quite a while during this year, around 6 weeks, we had nothing but rain. And that's during peak season. So because of all that rain, we had less pollinators. And I think that's why the fruit has rotted. It's just not got pollinated. I've got a few containers that we've just sown not too long ago. Quite small containers that we've put salads in. But because we've now had that massive turn in temperature, all these salads are drying out really quick. So we need to take them and put them in that shaded area where we've got as other lettuce containers and as spinach, because we don't want them shriveling up and dying. And that's these ones just here. That's mixed French salad. That's come on really well. And then we've got some little gem in another container. But they definitely need moving. And I think maybe these onions as well. They're drying out quite quick because they're in small cells. But they're just not big enough yet for me to transplant. I'll make a little bit of room on here for them. That beetroot's really shot up now. This is his baby beets that we're trying to grow. It's doing really well. This container, however, is rubbish. That's basil, and there's only a couple of seeds that's germinated. And I'm sure they were new seeds that I bought. We'll see if we can get at least 2 plants out of it for the moment. Lamb's lettuce is growing, but it's very slow. We've got some beans on here that's ready to harvest. Take a few off. They're French beans and the dwarf plants. So we're only looking for quite small beans. The thinner they are, the sweeter and tender. But they're not doing bad for little plants in a container. And there is more as well. A couple more there, and the others aren't quite big enough yet, so I'll leave some of those. This pepper is basically ripe now. It's nice and red. I've noticed a little soft spot on one side, but other than that, the rest on it's nice and firm. So, taking that off. First ripe pepper at year. I think I'm going to take that cucumber off as well. We left quite a big one in here the other day, but I don't want to leave it too long. See how big it is now. I think that's a perfect size. Let's take that off. It came off quite easy actually, so brilliant. We have got some more growing, and that has doubled in size over the last 3 days. I'm pretty sure that that's not all we're going to see from this plant before we get a frost. Well, a little bit of an harvest today. Nice looking cucumber and a few French beans. We just get a few every now and again off those dwarf plants, but what we do is we blanch them, we freeze them, so then we end up with a portion big enough for a meal. But at least finally we've got a pepper that's ripened. It's took all this time, and that's the only one we've had that's actually turned red. But we got one, and to me that's all that matters. It's not impossible. We've just got to be patient, and if we only get that one, we got something, and that's better than nothing. I'll decide what I'm doing with this butternut squash over the next few days. I'm going to take these in and I'm going to put that in the fridge, or maybe I'll frame it and hang it on the wall, or put a stand through the bottom and have it as a little trophy of my first and only ripe pepper of 2023. Just before I go, thank you very much for all the people that donated to the channel over the last couple of days. And they are Paul Braithwaite, Mags Dean, Victoria Willis and Tamsterman. That money will get put back into the channel, and it's going to really help us out with those autumn winter projects. So thank you so much for those donations. It was really generous of you. If you want to see what I'm doing over the next few days, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I look forward to seeing you then. Take care.